This is Cadillac Unscripted on 107.9 CDY. Every week at this time, it's sponsored by Independent Bank. We talk about good things going on in the community. And Katie Huckle is my co-host. And Katie, this is going to be a great show. This is going to be a super show this week because you and I both know this guy.
We do.
And this is the first time in 5 years that we have had a retiring educator on with us.
I know, and it's so important to recognize, especially this man and his contribution to our kids, which, of course, trickles to his contribution to our community through kids. So we've got Dave Mackey in the studio. Welcome.
Dave Mackey is here in the house. How are you, bud?
I'm good. Thank you for having me. It's an honor.
Well, I wanted to have you in because you and I have worked together at the CTC for 12 years now. When did you start? You started as a parapro in power sports and equipment, right?
Correct. Yeah,
What year was that?
2022 or 2002.
Okay, so
a lot of
23 years ago.
Correct.
What year did you move into the teaching position?
2004.
Okay, so 2 years as a parapro.
Correct.
21 years as a teacher.
Correct.
What kind of memories do you take with you as you're in your final days here?
Well, everybody's been asking me, are you excited to go? Are you counting the days? And I'm not. It's a very hard decision. It's hard to leave the classroom because of the students, as Katie and I talked about earlier.
Yeah.
You've made an impact on a lot of kids' lives that you know, and you've also made impact on kids that you don't know.
Probably 10 times the amount of kids that told you the impact you made. Those are the other ones are the ones that never told you.
Correct.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people, the gentleman that taught the class before me left 3 days before school started. And so I was handed a set of keys and said,
my gosh.
Here's your program.
Whoa.
Grenaded to computers, no books, no handouts, no study guides. And
Here
so
you
the
go.
first 5 years were pretty tough. I had to just get a lot of stuff to work on. Did not have my degree at that time, so I was going to school at night. So I'd teach all day, go to school at night to try to get my teaching degree. It took me 8 years to do that. But yeah, the first few years were a little tough.
Yeah.
Little mistakes were made.
I
Oh,
did
my
not
goodness.
know that. So what is it like to be handed the reins to a class with 72 hours notice? Oh
Well,
my gosh.
it was interesting. They actually brought back one of my teachers that I had in high school, Bob Howell. He was my electronics teacher at the Career Tech Center. We won't mention those years, what date those were, 'cause a little while ago. But he came in and he taught for 9 weeks while I got annually authorized to come into the classroom. And I was able to spend some time with Bob. What was really neat is Dick Marine started that program. And I actually have some of Dick's notes that I found in the desk from him and some of his handouts and some ways he did. And so it just kind of magically appeared because that helped me get through the first few years. And actually, I had the pleasure then of having his grandson in my class many years later. So it's kind of come full circle that way, and it's kind of neat.
How did you find that certificate? Because I will tell you, desks and stuff get moved around, and my certificate to teach, the certificate that I earned from Ferris went somewhere with a desk that I have no idea where it is. I am authorized to teach technical education in digital media, but I got no proof of it.
Oh my! Well, we might
It's
have to
around
call
somewhere.
Ferris.
I mean, we'll call Ferris
there
and figure that
somewhere,
out. But
Right.
that's amazing that fell into your hands.
Yeah, it was kind of cool because he gave me, and I still got his overhead projector, the slides, plastic sleeves. I've still got some of those.
Old school,
but it still works. I mean, it was great, and so I was able to use those, and I still have them. And whoever gets the classroom after me, hopefully, I've given them a file for resources that they can use it for the next generation of kids.
Momentum, yeah. One of the things that I've appreciated about Dave, and we've read about it and heard about it in the media, and we've heard about it from students that, you took your kids to such a level with their skills that they were able to compete on a national level. Can we talk about some of those students and some of those experiences? And I smile because I would say most people at their teaching at the end of the week, they're ready to be done. And here you are traveling across the United States with students. Can you talk about that?
Well, it goes back to the gentleman that taught the class before me when we got a letter from Skills USA, which is an organization that Rich and I both participate in. And I got a letter, and I said to the old instructor, hey, let's do this competition for the kids. I think it could be great. And the direct quote was, no, they might lose.
Oh, boy.
It's not about win or lose. It's about the experience.
Exactly. And I went, wow. So then when I did get the classroom, I did start a skills chapter. Backup. We had one years ago, but it'd been pretty dormant. So we brought it back. Rich participates. I don't know, we've got, 9 programs participating in it now. It's pretty big. And I was able to travel to St. Louis, Missouri, Louisville, Kentucky, Atlanta, Georgia, with my students for week-long competitions. One of my students finished second in Marine 2 years in a row down in Louisville. And he's back in the community, Caleb LaFond. He's back in the community with his dad doing plumbing and heating. Very successful young man. Earned a chance to go to MMI UTI on a scholarship. So he did that. And so he's one of those kids that it just makes it fun. Mm-hmm. You know, the kid's a joy. He's smart. He's polite. He knows how to handle himself. And his abilities were unbelievable. And so that just makes that week just that much more fun because it's usually in June, I think, is when it is. So school's even out. So it's a fun week. And that's the kids that you just watch them take off. And that's what makes it worthwhile.
Well, and I'll tell you from personal experience, I've been to Skills 3 times, 18, 19, and 25. Took COVID kind of gave us a little bit of a detour, and we hadn't been back for 6 years until this year. But every year, Dave's students have medaled, and you will not see a prouder person in that room than when he knows he's got a medaling student. And it's not about him, it's about the kids. And I know that's what you're going to miss the most about the classroom.
It is. I mean, we took 6 kids this year. I kind of pared down. I usually took 12. This year I took 6 just because I'm trying to wind it down. We medaled 5 out of 6, which isn't a bad average. We took some gold, some silver, some bronze, but again, it's that experience. We take students to Amway Grand Hotel in Grand Rapids. They spend the weekend there.
Some of them have never been away from their parents, right?
Escalator.
Can I come?
Yeah. Escalator, glass elevator. You get them in a glass elevator, and it goes up the first couple of floors, and they get a little. Yeah, you know. So it is. It's about that experience, and the young man that didn't medal, he learned from it.
Right.
And so that's the thing. Like Rich said, it's the experience of the whole thing, and then it's a joy to be able to take those kids. And I'm going to miss that. You are correct.
And I will say that none of our students medaled. We had a 5th place, so we got reasonably close to a medal this year. But when we asked them what their favorite memory, every year we have like an exit interview with our seniors, and we ask them what was your favorite memory of the year. All of them who went to Skills said we got to go to Skills.
Oh, wow.
And it wasn't about a medal; it was about the experience.
Right, correct.
Yeah.
Incredible. The family has a legacy of service to the Cadillac community and beyond. I want to just speak to that for a minute. Was that something that Bob and Virginia sat y'all down and said, this is how it's going to go? Or was it more that you watched them and their actions, Dave? Can you talk about that?
You got to go back one more generation.
To Harvey.
You got to go back to Harvey Pell.
Yeah.
I used to, when Grandpa had the store downtown, I worked for him and I was little, sweeping, emptying trash cans.
Oh, boy.
And if you watched Harvey Pell interact with a customer, a client, whatever, the guy was just a joy to watch. He's so sincere. And I can remember a local community member coming in, and I was just a little guy. And he says, hey, Harvey, my wife's in the hospital. We just had our 2nd kid. My refrigerator died. What can we do to help each other? I need a refrigerator. I got to do something. And my grandpa said to my dad, who was working for him, Bob, take a refrigerator, take it up the house, get it set up, and then make sure it's all set and ready to go. And the gentleman said to Harvey, he says, Harvey, I don't have any money. He goes, shake my hand, you're good. And that was it. And out he went. Different era.
That sticks with you for a lifetime, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, what do we teach at the school? Handshake, eye contact. You know, and I was working with a kid today, and I said, the only thing government can't take away from you is your word. Mm-hmm. And so it was, you build on that, and then I watched my mom and dad, and my dad was a county commissioner, he worked for animal control. He was always involved. My mom, Department of Corrections. I couldn't do anything in this town, and my mom knew it. They got involved. I think it is. I tell my students, you got to give back to your community. It's taken care of you for 50 years, 60 years. I moved away for about 6 years and came back, and I'm very glad that I did. My son's out in Connecticut. He's never coming back.
Okay.
He's an East Coast boy. He's never coming back, and that's okay. And I always tell my students, you can go away, but you can always come back.
Right. Yep. Let's talk about, Deb recently retiring, you retiring. What I would love to know what's on the docket for the Mackeys. What's on the bucket list?
Well, if you can get my wife to retire, let me know how that goes.
Well, but she's taken it way down.
She's down to two days a week, give or take. And so she's the same thing. You love what you do. You don't want to quit doing it.
It's true.
And she does. I mean, a lot of people know that she and I dated for a while, and I said I never had a snowball's chance with her because she's too classy for me.
I love it.
But, it ended up being, she actually, if you heard the contest, how'd you meet your spouse? I win because I say she killed my dog, which is accurate. She had to put one of my dogs to sleep. That's how it started 35 years ago.
Incredible.
And I don't really know. We're both a little hesitant of the future.
Sure.
We've got our house. We've got our farm that we're restoring. Thankfully, my daughter and her son and her 2 kids are right across the road from us.
Yes.
So that gives us a lot of joy. I'm not going to have far to look for something to do, but that's the scary part about retirement is not having that next step set up.
Right.
That's the scary part.
I've served on a board of directors with Dave, and he's served on a lot of boards in the Cadillac area. I know how I would describe your style in the boardroom. How would your students describe your teaching style? What would they tell us about you?
Well, and we go against some of this communication we have that if you lower the bar, the student will get there. If you raise the bar, they will get there.
Okay.
And I've always had high expectations of my students on handshake, eye contact, interviewing, helping the people, holding the doors, please and thank you.
What's called soft skills now, but it wasn't back then.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. And I think that really, if you when we do our surveys, exit surveys with a student, we just did them last week. Thank you for making me get out of my comfort zone. Mm-hmm. Thank you for holding us accountable for our actions. And I don't think they get that much. And so it's our job as educators to do that.
True.
I had a gentleman today walk through the door in front of me, never made eye contact, never said thank you, everything else. And my student stopped and held the door for the guy.
That's a win.
That's a win. Exactly. So I think that's something that we've got to work on. I think COVID screwed us up a little bit, took that personal touch away. Mm-hmm. But we do interviews with our students. They have to get dressed up. They have to have the suit and tie on. They've got to interview. Mike McGuire came in and interviewed. Billy Repka came in. And Bill Repka, you all know Bill, he loves that. He loves coming in with our kids. He spends all day with them. Uh-huh. And they will tell you the number one thing in our follow-up survey a year later is thank you for making me interview.
Oh, great. So, yes.
And most of those kids, initially, they don't see the value in it. You have to show it to them.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. And then they walk away as a graduate thinking, you know what? Mr. Mackey didn't waste my time.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, in getting to that, I will tell you, serving on, a committee in a board of directors with Dave, I would tell you very direct and also going to call the question. Let's get to it. Let's cut through it. Let's get to it. Mission focused. We don't need to dance around all of this. And we had a pretty serious mission that we were on when Dave and I served together. And I was just so refreshed by your approach to problem solving. Let's get to it.
Well, that's the technician in you. Let's diagnose and figure out what's going on and then come up with a plan of attack. You might make mistakes, but you got to try.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So speaking of almost making mistakes, this is one of my favorite Dave Mackey stories, and there's a lot because his sister's a very close friend of mine, so I know some really good stories about Dave.
Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah. But this one involved, I wanted to be the cool mom. I wanted to be the cool mom, so I was going to buy my kids, I know, dirt bikes. Really? I was going to buy these kids dirt bikes, but I didn't know I still don't know anything about small engines or marine or whatever. I know how to drive the boat. I know how to dock the boat, and that's where it ends. But with these dirt bikes, I thought, you know what? What do I always tell people? Have you talked to a mechanic? Buyer beware. Shouldn't somebody? And I thought, you know what? I'm going to follow my own advice on these dirt bikes, and I'm just going to ask Dave if he would just take a look at it. 24 hours later, I get a text. Give me a shout when you got a minute. So this is thousands. I call him. He says, the engines are blown on these dirt bikes. I would have bought them. And so you got to have a guy, just like you got to have a girl. I just want to clear the tower before I do something stupid. And I bet that's happened to you hundreds of times, hasn't it?
Well, and that's my dad was a handyman. He could fix anything.
Okay.
As long as it wasn't a gas engine. I can't do what my dad did, but I think it gives you a pretty strong amount of pride that when people trust you to reach out from the community and say, what if? What do you think? What can you do? And that's what I enjoy. It's what I'm good at. The frustrating ones when they do that and you tell them what's wrong. Oh, that can't be it.
You must know more about this.
Why'd you ask me that?
Exactly.
But, it is. And, that's my area of love. I've been doing it since we were talking with kids today. I'm retiring at 60. I've been doing this since I was 8 years old. Made a lot of mistakes, and we try to invoke on our students. Try not to make this mistake, because I've done it.
Right.
And
it's okay to make mistakes.
It's okay.
That's what, as long as you
don't
from
repeat them.
Yep.
Exactly.
It's back to it. Can we talk about your involvement in After 26? I know this is a passion for you. Can you talk to me about how you were drawn to that board of directors and your leadership there?
You all know Dave Gaunt. So Dave Gaunt and Rex Harley were my bosses at the school. They hired me. The other gentleman that was the teacher there did not want me, and those two chose me. And I still don't know why in a half-hour interview that it came out, but it is what it is. But I've been friends with both those guys since then. Dave Gaunt's been involved After 26 from inception, and he just asked me one day if I would come down and help. Well, of course, what the heck. And so we went down and helped, and if you watch those project workers with the pride that they have when they do a job as simple as washing dishes and they're coming out clean and cleaning the silverware, it's a joy. And, the founding members got a lot of years in there. And so it was something that I've continued. We are very blessed right now. My daughter, Molly, has taken the executive director's job. And so she's been involved since she was in high school. So she's just running with it. It's so fun to watch people from outside the community come in and they find out what our mission is and they just go, oh my God. And we've had a number of other communities reach out to us to try to duplicate it. Nobody's been able to do it yet. I don't know why.
It's organic, isn't it? How you guys grew it out.
Yeah, those guys did it, and we're just running with it. I've got a great board of directors. I got people that are involved in the community that find that important because it's not an easy mission, because owning a restaurant's tough. Owning a restaurant during COVID is really tough. Owning a restaurant when you're dealing with special needs employees is very difficult. But our staff is wonderful. They do a great job with the project workers. We've got some volunteers. It's just a fun project. And community support. You've been down there. Rich has been down there a number of times. It's really becoming part of the community now, which I think is going to be vital for its success in the next 10 years.
Absolutely.
And there is a Friday morning get-together for breakfast with Dave and Mr. Gaunt and Mr. Harley, too, that I've participated in a few times. So yeah.
I missed the memo. Is this for everybody?
If you want to join us sometime, go ahead.
Okay.
7 o'clock in the morning, we solve all the problems of the world.
Will you still
be 7 a.m.er, Dave?
Will you still be doing this in retirement? Will you still go to After 26?
Well, I don't know. You're going to have to ask Rex, Harley, Dave Gaunt, and Gary Sievert, because those three are all CTC retirees. I'm the only one that's still donating into Social Security, so I don't know if I'll be allowed to come back or not. I don't know.
I got you. Okay.
Hard to tell.
Dave, what does Dave Mackey do when he isn't puttering around on the farm working or teaching? What are your hobbies?
Well, if you you've dealt with my wife enough, you'll know that I broke my back in 2001, and I was partially paralyzed.
Ooh, okay.
And it took about a year to get back to where I am today. Still have some residual, but my wife will tell you the thing that got me through that was my ability to get in my tractor.
Oh, the tractor.
My dad bought a John Deere 4440 the year before he passed away. I can just go out and work the field. I don't turn on a radio. I just take a bottle of water, and my life's good. I take my grandson out with me now. Now my granddaughter loves to do it. It's the joke around the farm is tractor therapy. And that's what it is.
What do you do
cheaper than retail therapy, I'll tell you that.
I talk to my dad.
Okay.
Think about my dad. Think about the farm. Having pride in how well you mow the hay, how well you rake. Because that was my dad's thing. If God's gonna give you the land to work, have the pride to work it right.
Oh my!
And there's a lot of truth to that.
Yes.
So I work with one of the local dairy farms, and again, get more tractor therapy. It's just one of those things that it's just soothing. Mm-hmm. You know, some people might get on a boat. That drives me nuts because it's work related. I'm listening to how that engine's running. Where the tractor, I can just do my thing, and it's just joy.
Okay.
Yep.
I have a feeling, and you tell me if I'm right, that grandchildren are helping make this segue into retirement.
Yeah, our grandson Noah, he's 7. He's just a constant ball of energy. He's doing really well. Grace is almost 2 now, and when I get the tractor out, she makes a beeline for the tractor. She's not afraid of it. So yeah, I think particularly with my wife, it's been a lot of fun for her. Mm-hmm. But you know, we're hopefully going to get a couple calves for Noah so he can start some animal husbandry practice. And yeah, it's just one more thing okay, they're here. Let's do something with it to be fun.
Okay. Another question. For someone in the audience that's flirting with being a teacher, that, you know, hasn't quite decided what they want to do for their career, what would you tell that person about being an educator?
I'm laughing because I have a feeling I know what he's going to say.
Okay.
Well, that gentleman sitting next to you will tell you don't get into the teaching for the money. You get into the teaching to watch the light bulb come on. And it's an old cliche, but it works. I mean, to watch that kid get lit up. We had a gentleman in today, student that was there from 6 years ago. When we got him, would make eye contact, would look at you, looking down at the ground, blah, blah, blah. Long story short, came in today, brought donuts, gave Mr. Hambright a hug, gave me a hug. He's working at one of the local factories. He's doing great. He's got his own house. That's why you get into it. There's the good and the bad, just like every job.
Sure.
But to watch those kids blossom and grow and be successful, you just got to follow your passion. What do you love to do? Rich is a radio host of radio hosts. He loves it. He's good at it. And then you watch him with the kids. That's what it's about, is taking your knowledge, taking your abilities, and passing them on to the next generation. What better gift is there?
And your passion. Pass on the passion. That's what you have to do.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I see both of you. Like, I gotta tell you. So when someone's happy, when someone's sad, when someone I care about, I have to bake something.
Yep.
This is just what I do. So for you, as a congratulations, and for me, it's bittersweet because there's students that now you're not going to be their teacher. You know what I mean? And there's going to be folklore like, well, when Dave Mackey was around, I can tell you it went like this, and no one was better at this and that, and you'll be a legend. You mark my words. So, the American male's favorite cookie used to be chocolate chip. I can tell you. It's a no-bake. It's a chocolate no-bake.
Yep, I'm
there you
all
go.
for that.
You don't have to share these. My gift to you.
But Rich will know where they are. So
just as a thank you for just everything that you did for kids in the community, Dave.
No, you're welcome. Thank you very much.
Sugared up with those.
Amen. No, that's the thing. If you look at the community support that we've had for my program, there's so many people that have played a role. Bill Repka, Mike McGuire. So many people that have helped me, and I just call them and say, hey, I need this, and boom, it appears. Lark Lawn and Garden, I got my marina up in Pioneer Hills and Roscommon. You have Yamaha. It's one of the things that you got to do is and if I may, Rich, when you ask for something, it's like asking a girl if you can get a kiss. The worst thing she can say is no. I mean, just go for it.
Is that how it goes?
Well, and that's, I didn't have any engines whatsoever from my classroom. I called and made a call and made a call and made a call. Honda, here's about what we're doing. 3 days later, I've got 3 pallets full of engines delivered to the school at no charge.
Really?
You have to ask. You have to ask. And businesses like that, companies like that, when they know you're training the new generation, they're going to say, generally, they're going to say yes.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You got to be able to ask, and that's one of those things that you just try. I mean, you fail, you fail. You're no worse off than you were you started the day. So,
and that's something you have to teach the kids too, is that, this generation is not all that excited about getting on the phone and making a phone call. You have to be able to do that. You
Correct.
have to be able to, they'd rather text.
Oh, I see.
Oh,
You're talking about communication.
Yes,
yeah, terrible.
communication.
Terrible.
Yeah.
It's
And that's one of the things I was going to ask you, Dave. In the 21 years that you've been in the classroom, what has changed most about teaching, and what has changed most about the students?
teaching. The COVID really screwed us up because kids got moved up that shouldn't have gotten moved up. They weren't prepared for the next high school level, whatever. That helped. The teaching side of it and the kid side of it is the coping mechanisms. There are none.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and that's scary because if as soon as our kids hit a roadblock on a piece of equipment, they just say, "I'm done," and that's it. Whereas, wait a minute, no. Just like in life, okay, you're done. What's the next step? What can we do to make this run? And I think that's the scary thing for me and Mr. Hambright is to say, what's the coping mechanisms that we can help these kids troubleshoot, and not just an engine, but life. Because we tell them the other day, something's going to happen. I can guarantee you that. It's how you react to it that's the key to it. But, I told whoever, hopefully Mr. Hambright will get my position that I'll be around and that we'll just continue this. And I hope that the program continues to be successful because it's 23 years of hard work to get it where it is. And I just hope that whoever gets it can run with it.
Handing off is hard.
Oh, it's terrible. It's terrible, but
you've had Ken as your parapro for several years now,
12 years.
12 years. So I think he started a year after I did. So you've prepped him. I mean, you've done everything you can, right?
And he'll do a better job than I did.
Why do you say that?
That's high praise.
He's more organized.
Okay.
He's got a little bit more background in the recreational than I had Marine. But the guy's just a walk-in encyclopedia. And the kids love him. The kids absolutely love him. And so he'll do fine. I hope he gets it. I know he's applying for it. I hope he gets it. But that's beyond my decision-making. So just say a prayer and hope.
Mm-hmm.
So
Boy.
As of when this program airs, you have 1 day left. We have 1 day left with our kids.
Correct.
So what's that last day going to look like? Have you thought about it?
Well, I'd like to tell you that it's going to be piece of cake, no tears, but you know me better.
I watched you just a few weeks ago hand off your last Student of the Year award, and that was emotional for you.
It's tough, but you got good people. There's a lot of people that have worked there as long as I have, if not longer, and it's going to be tough because you're not going to see those people every day.
Right.
But you know what? You just got to have faith.
Right.
That's all you can do.
Amen.
So it'll be tough, but we'll get through it.
The amazing Dave Mackey gave so much to students in the Cadillac community. And like I said, you're already a legacy, but you watch years from now, someone will be working on a motor or someone will get their boat running because of you. And boy, all I can say is thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity.
We appreciate you, Dave, and we wish you all the best in retirement. And please do not be a stranger.
I promise I won't.
All right.
When I know where these cookies come from, we're good.
Keep them in an endless supply, Katie.
I will.
Yep.
Cadillac Unscripted is sponsored by Independent Bank. Join us next week, same time, same station, for some more local chat here on 107.9 CDY.